I now invite Professor Unnat Pandit, and let me introduce Professor Unnat Pandit. He is a PhD in medicinal chemistry with LLB in general law from Gujarat University. He has been officer on special duty to Commerce and Industry Minister Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman at the Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Government of India. He has been a member of IPR think tank constituted by Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion, Government of India to draft national IPR policy. He is the member of Academic Council, Gujarat Technical University, Ahmedabad, Gujarat Technical University, Ahmedabad. He is also the Research Council member, as well as he has 8 patent applications filed with the Patent Office on different scientific interventions. He has written 3 books on Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam with a focus of leadership among school and graduate level students. So I would now invite Professor Unnat Pandit, please, sir, for your expertise.
Yeah, thank you. I'm sure the presentation is visible. And the earlier discussion I was listening, I have joined a few minutes before my scheduled session so that I can just get the glimpses of the interaction which was happening. Definitely, the previous speaker has also mentioned about technology intervention in our grassroots requirements, and that's what is the prime motive of achieving the Atmanirbhar Bharat. And this goal and the wonderful theme which has been planned throughout the 5 days series of event, and this is something going to be useful and much more enlightening. And I must appreciate the NITTTR Chandigarh and Bharatiya Shikshan Mandal for jointly organizing this 5 days webinar series. And when I say that Atmanirbhar Bharat, then I would also like to emphasize here that we should also think, being actively engaged into the academic profession, we need to ensure that Atmanirbhar Bharat is not fulfilled till we achieve the Atmanirbhar Shiksha. And the Shiksha which leads to the job creation, which leads to the self sustainability, which leads to address the societal challenges. And in order to drive this Atmanirbhar Shiksha, we need to have a Atmanirbhar startup and Atmanirbhar innovation. And I have thought that I would like to share some of my views on this. भारतीय शिक्षा व्यवस्था की जब हम बात करते हैं तो हम भारत की शिक्षा व्यवस्था को समाज प्रेरित, समाज पोषित करना चाहते हैं. And that's what is the prime motive behind achieving the Atmanirbhar Shiksha. The value into the education, the teaching to learning approach, and of course creating the patriotic citizens is the primary goal for all of us. And we all want that Bharat should be leading as a Vishwa Guru. And this is the aim which we should be setting for the Atmanirbhar Bharat. And while doing it so, how we can take a small conceptual initiative which can really drive ourselves, our institution, our academic environment, our faculties, our students towards this kind of a new normal, which is getting it set over a period in a post COVID-19 era. And in order to achieve this mission of Atmanirbhar Bharat, we can really dedicate ourselves with the entrepreneurial skill, with the innovation as the winning lip for India. And for doing it so, of course, we need to create the ideation platforms. We need to create the 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 platforms. We need to create We need to allow deploying the technology. The previous speaker, Sahuji, what he was mentioning, that we would like to have a artificial intelligence, machine learning, and the smart agriculture. But of course, the solution will be available, but we need to create the bridge between what is the current situation, what is the futuristic solution. And this bridge can be created by the academics. And that's why our role in achieving the Atmanirbhar Bharat is a prime and useful role. And we are one of the pillar in ensuring that Bharat achieves the Atmanirbharta, self-reliance. And we need to create the engineers or catalyzing agents who can drive the community solution in education through even a design thinking approach. So, design thinking is nothing but we need to strategically plan the solution and with the aim to achieve the useful solution offering for the grassroots issues which is being faced by the society. At this juncture, this single picture which I have taken from the Bran Quinlan is explaining the current scenario. In a pre-COVID-19 era, we used to go into the mall and entire jolly well enjoyment was there into the life. In a COVID-19, entire society's perspective has changed. Instead of mall, we are thinking about the what is the today's testing number, how many found the positive, how many found negative, what is the mortality rate, what is the mortality rate in Delhi, Chandigarh, what is the lockdown scenario. So this is something which has taken the prime headline. And rather than visiting a mall, people are going into the testing centers. And for self procurement or protection, we are ensuring that we are maintaining the social distancing. Everybody is much aware about the use of sanitization, personal hygiene, personal wellness. The level of hygiene has improved. Antibiotic consumption has gone drastically down. The positive aspect of antipsychotic drugs consumption is going down. People are having a less heart related complexity, less kidney related complexity. The people who were there, they are now recovering also. They have started taking the homemade foods, which has improved their diet. Their body brain control is always going to go up when we are in a mental peace. This single cartoon is showing us this level of understanding about the COVID-19, and the way forward is nicely written in a very small font. Local food cooperatives, we are going to be a much more vocal about local consumption, hygiene level, or personal wellness is going to be a much more at a improved level. Traditionally, we have always utilized the knowledge. The thing which we are following is not new. The lifestyle, even in the UK, now they have banned the advertisement of a junk food before 9 p.m. And they want everybody to have a healthy and a proper well-being of an individual. And this is what in UK they have mandated with the official notification. No advertisement related to junk food or highly sugared beverages will be shown before 9 p.m. so that kids are not getting addicted or tempted with the junk food. So this is something utilizing the knowledge in the people's well-being, process well-being, technology intervention. We have been using this, and this knowledge is already existing right from the Indus Valley civilization. We were much having a preventive awareness. So Ayurveda was there. Small yoga was also there. So personal well-being, design, structural reforms, all this has really gives us a glory. So India was Atmanirbhar, India is Atmanirbhar and will also be Atmanirbhar. Only the perception towards the life, perception towards the societal well-being is going to change the standing position to see the Bharat. And while we are changing the standing position, each transition is going to witness the change. Like we have lived the life in the transition phase. Earlier, we used to have a trunk call booking and then communicating even in inland India and outside through exchange. Now, a simple device which everybody is carrying, and this is the transition. Just I will go little far away. In 1895, Jagdish Chandra Bose, our great scientist, has done a remarkable innovation. He has presented microwave communication. Now, currently, we can't expect any life without this innovation. And when I am saying expecting a life without this innovation is next to impossible. What microwave communication offers? Mobile telephony. Microwave communication offers landline communication. Microwave communication offers the Wi-Fi connectivity. We have never expected in December or even before the start of 2020 that we all will be communicating from various parts of country through this kind of a communication. And the really remarkable innovation is this microwave communication. This has changed our life. Microwave communication we daily using in our kitchen. Microwave apparatus. We are using this when we are watching the TV, remote control. So life without this innovation is next to impossible to imagine. And of course, we have a goal set to achieve. In among this 17 sustainable development goal, India is negatively listed in 10 such SDGs. We are among the top 5 or 10 negatively listed, like in poverty elimination, quality in education, zero hunger. So we are really struggling on improving our rate. And to get rid of all this challenge, we need to think about how we can offer the sustainable innovation technology and entrepreneurial ecosystem in India to address all the sustainability related goals. And while beginning with this, we should know that what we have and how we are going to offer or achieve the sustainability in the SDGs. And we all have set the goal of becoming offering a Vishwa Gurutva to Bharat. So while we are thinking about achieving this goal, it's a high time for all of us to think about offering a technology leadership, recognizing the inherent innovative culture in the community, and empowering the community to ideate and bring the change. And that will happen if we are changing the standing position to see the Atmanirbhar Bharat from the education perspective. And we need to transform the scaling of idea and facilitate the deployment of the innovation, and at the end empowering the society to build the new India. And if we want to do it so, Atmanirbhar Bharat, this is the official graphic issued by the government of India, wherein we have been defined 5 different pillars: economy, infrastructure, systems, demography, and demand. And if we want to achieve this Atmanirbharta, The next triangle is exactly explaining what is the culture currently we have, and the bottom line across the value chain, how we can achieve the transformation. 135 crore of a population, we generate the data at each second. And while we are generating this data, which is in a raw form, how we can translate this data into the meaningful information. And this meaningful information guide us towards what is the root cause issue, and how this contextual knowledge can offer us a wisdom to apply the new innovative technology or innovation to address these challenges. And the technology or innovation which we foresee can offer us the path for achieving the Atmanirbhar Bharat should be self-reliant, cost-effective, citizen-centric, and relevant to our need. Many startups and entrepreneurs are failing in the initial journey, and it's a high time for all of us to ensure we overcome with the failure. एक एक बहुत ही बढ़िया बात जो श्री हरिवंश राय बच्चन जी ने कही थी, आई वुड लाइक टू रिपीट इट हियर, and I don't know whether you can also see this or not, but would like to show you, repeat his own recitation. असफलता एक चुनौती है, इसे स्वीकार करो, क्या कमी रह गई देखो और सुधार करो, जब तक न सफल हो नींद चैन को त्यागो तुम, संघर्ष का मैदान छोड़कर मत भागो तुम, कुछ किए बिना ही जय जयकार नहीं होती है, कोशिश करने वालों की कभी हार नहीं होती है। बहुत महत्वपूर्ण बात हरिवंश राय बच्चन जी ने कही थी, जो आज के समय भी आत्मनिर्भर भारत को अगर लक्ष्य बनाकर हम उस पर चलना चाहते हैं, तो ये बात आज भी उतनी ही सटीक और महत्वपूर्ण है। And with this, we need to understand where we are failing and we need to overcome with our failure. And this is something where these are the few primary cause wherein startups, entrepreneurs are failing in the initial journey. And in order to ensure that this failure translate into the success, we need to have a change in gear towards offering the Atmanirbhar Shiksha. And while we want to offer the Atmanirbharta in our education, it's a high time for imparting the skills for tomorrow's education and innovation need. Tomorrow's education need the omniscience approach. Wherever knowledge is available, grab this knowledge and apply into the developmental leap. Prepare the entrepreneurial mindset. Now, getting the job in campus placement is going to be a tough in this COVID-19 and post-COVID-19 era for initial phases. But there is a huge opportunity for entrepreneurial mindset. They need to again, aspiring innovator, aspiring entrepreneur need to think on a bottom line, need to drive with the data and the fact, and of course the ethical intelligence, which is going to place all the aspiring innovator and the entrepreneur to the supreme goal. And while we are exploring this, teach them reaching out to the new partner who has something new, novel offering, and encase the benefit of external innovation which is available. So need to work collectively as a team, and power of doing it yourself. Do it yourself, offer it yourself, which is a game changing strategy, and balancing on internal and external innovation. Learn to utilize the strength and power which will offer the new ecosystem. Time to strengthen entire ecosystem in India if we want to achieve the Atmanirbhar Bharat. Innovations are important enabler for the emergence of powerful regime, and you might have witnessed, if you have equipped yourself with the current affairs, the position of Indian political scenario, position of India placing into the top powerhouse is slowly and gradually improving, and we are creating a center of gravity around Bharat in the global power center. The invitation received by Honorable PM to address the G7 countries is one of such eyewitness, and many such international events happened since he resumed this office, and useful to explore all such offers benefits which has been triggered by the government of India. Startup India, Stand Up India, women entrepreneurship platforms, all these Atal Innovation Mission, and many such innovation initiative which is offering the hotbed sectors for the youngsters, students and youth of this country. Startups, innovation and entrepreneurship opportunity is available across all the sector. It's no longer the technology dominance. Many social innovations are achieving a much more sustainability even prior the technological innovation ready for the deployment, and many such social innovations have achieved. The NGO sector, which people are thinking that that's going to be a most challenging. Now, NGO sector has very well changed the gear of offering, and they are offering the much more useful and innovation social offerings. It's a time of a change, it's a time of uncertainty, but equally the disruption is going to get happen during the COVID-19 time and the post COVID-19 time. And startups in education is again going to transform the global trend and the trade. Both we are capable of offering this. Only the thing we need to offer highly personalized technological experience so that people can reach, people can utilize, and they have a age in transition phase. Educate, encourage students to explore the new approaches which can be offered to the society, and any problem which society is facing, we need to give the learning to the students how we can offer the solution in an unimaginable way through creativity and innovation, and design the new curriculum as per the societal need. So everything in the traditional mode cannot offer. If everything can be achieved, then we would not have such a huge problems into the society and the culture. And we all are witness about this. I don't want to go into the negative mode. That's why I purposefully trying to skip those discussion. But yes, think about positive, be interactive, engage with the people who are a key stakeholder and offer them a support. If we are not part of the solution, it's a high time to go into the survival mode. But we need to think in a change. Sectorial priorities which are going to offer a lucrative hotbed offering to the youth and the students are listed here. Not only the ICT sector which will have the hotbed offerings, but also on a social, health, personal well-being, food, agriculture. These are the promising sector which are going to dominate in next 10 years. And while doing it so, it's a high time for all of us in education sector how we can see the transformation or a transition. Education sector, these are the startups which are ready with their offering in India, outside India as well, and offering are all across the value chain in a broad online learning, even child education, learning analytics, next gen schooling, not just the schooling, it's a higher education schooling as well. test preparation, course material, school administration, language learning, study tools, and the classroom engagement. All these, all across the value chain. Teachers will be required to get equipped with the futuristic technology platform. And one such example which I have captured here is EMLI. And this is something which I came across, that EMLI is one of such startup who is proud to offer entire country's education system which are managed on their platform, right from the admission to the placement, purchase to write off, and recruitment to the retirement. Entire thing, university, school administration, child's holistic progression, soft skill, hard skill mapping, growth monitoring, and what is going to be the futuristic need based on the education. This single platform can offer such a productivity. So accordingly, country's next educational and industrial revolution can be planned and the map. So people who have the interest, they will do the job which is giving them a joy and the happiness. And that's the developmental pathway which can be offered through this kind of a platform. It's a unique platform which I came across during my previous association at Atal Innovation Mission Niti Aayog. One such similar solution, which is also there, 3,500 institution got engaged with this platform. It's a oneform.in, one such single platform for entire administration of admission and the post admission activities. Single process, single platform which is accessible to students and the institution, and across the multiple university, multiple curriculum, multiple offering which we can be do this. And now finally, building a self-reliant Bharati education and innovation ecosystem is the time of the need. Education is the most powerful weapon which we can use to change the entire world. And of course, our Honorable PM has also given us a mission to be vocal for our local. And while doing it so, it's a high time for all of us to achieve the Atmanirbhar Bharat, removing all the struggling, confusion, comfortable zone, anxiety, or a chaotic situation which has came across during this COVID-19 phase, and which is going to complicate. But yes, we need to keep ourselves calm, and the only way to predict the future is to create it. And Atmanirbhar Bharat is going to offer us this opportunity to create the future for our country. I'm also active on social media. You can reach out to me with this Twitter handle or LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. But wonderful interacting with all of you. And I am sure Atmanirbhar Bharat can be achieved if we achieve the Atmanirbharta in our Shiksha, Atmanirbharta in our startup and entrepreneurial offerings. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to interact with all of you.
Thank you, sir.
I have, sir, one point, Vijay Sahu here. So we with IIT Bhubaneswar have a volunteer group built up a digital skills and employability platform. So this is actually, sir, it is a platform with a product layer. So product is full stack coding on Node.js, MongoDB, and AngularJS with AI, machine learning, privacy, and cyber security provided in, all embedded. And I want to share with you, sir, that presentation of Professor Devi Prasad Dogra, is the chief mentor of IIT Bhubaneswar. So 60 volunteers are working. We have mapped, sir, 1.5 million migrant workers and 200,000 jobs for 100 districts of UP, Odisha, those who we got the data from. And we generated heat maps for skills cluster, walk to work on that basis, on that concept. So we have been working on this last 5 months, 60 technologists and professionals and management, economists and all that. So I wanted to actually, sir, share it with you. You can go through leisurely.
Sure,
And if
sure,
it's of
please,
interest, we
please.
can discuss. It can be dedicated to the nation, sir.
Please do share with us. We'll
Yes.
also have a detailed brainstorming with Atal Innovation Mission. Now I have moved out of the Atal Innovation Mission. Now I'm part of the GNU, but still I am closely associated with the team, and we also have the Niti Aayog's Atal Incubation Center, so we can explore utilizing such new novel platforms.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir, for such an insight of the various aspects. Now, dear participants, in case you have any particular questions, you can put up in the chat box, please.
Dr. Binayak, you work extensively for rural development. You had a wonderful contribution in Himachal. Why don't you talk something with Professor Pandit, because he is a man who can really give you some insight so that we can do some better activities after. Because Professor Pandit, actually, Dr. Binayak is a new addition to NITER system. Recently, we have selected some new associate professor, and they are the team who are organizing this type of activities. Because I gave them the full hand, I categorically told them that I will not come in picture. You people have to plan, you have to execute. I want to see how the second liners are coming forward, and that is the
Yeah.
way they have taken all the pain in connecting you, connecting all good people who are delivering for the participants here. The basic objective is that we want not a so-so webinar. We want to create a paper that is a roadmap which will circulate to all technical institute. Look, there is some thing to ponder upon. Don't go in blank, because as you know, in higher education, because you are from an academic background, so you very well understand that we individual researchers, we think that what we are doing is readily to be accepted by the society or the industry. But sometimes it is not true. Why? Sometimes majority time it is not true. We'll end up in publishing a ACI publication or some filing a patent. Nobody is there to buy it also. So to avoid those type of intellectual loss, to avoid those type of intellectual time, we wanted to really create a small background paper so that those people who are serious and having a thought process of realistically taking up some issues, then this paper will help them to connect themselves with different 5 pillars which we have thought will be more useful in the times to come. So that is the objective. And Dr. Binayak somehow has shifted from NIT Hamirpur to our place. He was already associate professor there, a senior assistant professor there. So he came and joined as an associate professor, but he has done a lot of wonderful rural related activities there. He has been awarded in many forums. So Binayak, I think Professor Pandit is a very rarely available person for because he is so busy. So you can take the advantage, and now since he has given a cushion of 20 minutes for us, so please interact with him.
I always feel that we should have a more interaction. I have just set few point for discussion. Now let's apply with various sectors how we can achieve this, and that's the prime motive.
Participants, let me tell you, Professor Pandit's presentation cannot be just sum up in 1 hour time. He is a that Gyankos of presentation. Let me tell you. I mean, please don't mind
Thank you.
exposing
But
you.
I am
But I
trying
know your
to.
potential. I know your strength, because Dayanandiji, myself, we always talk about you when it comes to my chamber. This is a regular practice of talking about the people who are really into the grassroots to the higher level, all those things. So this is an opportunity for all participants. A person who has contributed, who is contributing, and also is part of the policy decision of this country to interact. Please take this advantage. I think Binayak, you start the
Yes.
initiation.
Okay. So let me talk about the background. Basically, this urbanization is the topic which actually I gave for this infrastructure. When I was at NIT Hamirpur, I got associated with the Shyama Prasad Mukherjee Urban Mission, which has been launched in 2016. Presently, as Dr. Sir has said, what I'm doing at the background is that with respect to this particular COVID situation, what I'm finding, especially in the case of Himachal Pradesh, whatever the produce that local people used to have with respect to pickles or any kind of items, that is not in the market. The government has come up, that is the tribal development has come up with the new e-mart or the tribe-fed websites and so on. But what problem I'm facing is that these people are finding difficulty in switching over from the physical market to the digital market. How do you see this kind of a scenario?
See, I'm also Vinayak ji. It's a pleasant coincidence that I am currently working on this project, and I have thought that I have catch this vocal for local when PM has delivered this his talk during this lockdown phase. And vocal for local has immediately connect me that Atmanirbhar Bharat can be achieved with Atmanirbhar Shiksha, Atmanirbhar Startup, Atmanirbhar Entrepreneurship. Now, I would like to have all these four sentiments which has evolved out of this Atmanirbhar Bharat with the rural urbanization. And majority of the population has already switched from the major urban cities to the rural location, and the reverse migration is not going to happen so immediately, at least for next few months. This is something going to have a sustainability in their hometown. How we can offer them better opportunity so that they stay there, and entire rural economy or a rural supply network can be created so that this can offer a better opportunity, better incentive right in their hometown. And I'm involved in this project. So, with the agency who is closely going to execute this particular project, I am advising them on strategy and conceptual designing of this entire project. And they are going to come out soon in next few weeks with this kind of a solution which can offer the rural upliftment and rurbanization, what you have also coined, can really be achieved in a systematic manner, and the things which is going to get executed going to last for the longer duration. This is not just a stopgap arrangement which offer them the opportunity to earn or generate the entrepreneurship or even the job prospect for the time being. No, it's a permanent establishment of a economic value chain getting triggered from the rural sector. From village to ward is the term which I have coined. Village is the smallest element of entire country, and ward is the again smallest element of the city, tier 2, tier 3, tier 1, or a metro city, where the ward is the smallest element. How we can connect both the elements and create the bridge which will ensure that rural offerings are sustainable. Hope I could able to justify your thought process as well. We can happy to share, exchange the knowledge on this subject with you.
Yes. One of the question that has been put up by one of the participants. My college is Guru Nanak Dev Engineering College, and that is in Ludhiana, where we admit 70% from rural quota. How can we make our adjoining villages self-reliant and Atmanirbhar? I mean, what sort of activities we can do their part from Unnat Bharat, but under Atmanirbhar Abhiyan?
See, Unnat Bharat is one of the great platform wherein students can really see what exactly is the livelihood and the other rural challenges, and whatsoever they have learned throughout their education, how they can offer a best deployment of their knowledge in villages. Now, in this particular village, where the 70% of the rural produce is getting consumed out of this particular village, then it's a high time for creating the network and connecting the dots. The connecting the dots will really offer a unique opportunity to establish this self-sustainability and Atmanirbharta in a small packets. Atmanirbharta cannot be achieving just like a magic stick. We roll it out and from tomorrow entire country is Atmanirbhar. No. Everybody in this discussion, 108 participants, believes that this can be achieved by individual contribution. Individual contributing to the country's development can only catalyze the entire momentum. And likewise for this village, how we can connect the dots. Wherever there is a gap, we can fulfill this gap with our unique offering. And that only contribution can achieve the Atmanirbharta.
In case, sir, there is one more technology-driven education. By December 2020, the government is going to launch National Foundational Literacy and Numeracy Mission. That is what is being talked about. So, how do you see this as a connect with this particular case of urbanization? Do we try to see that they are trying to, reach to every part of the village for the education system? That's what they want to go ahead for.
See, entire education system is in a transition mode, and it is going to get emerge as a hybrid education model, where in such a dynamic mode of individual evaluation is getting evolved. So earlier we used to have a pen paper examination for MCQ. Now MCQ examination are getting conducted in an online mode. Students get the results immediately after their submission, and they discuss where they went wrong. So productively the discussion is happening like in a Sanskrit examination. One student has made some mistake, and more focus is on correcting the mistake rather than celebrating the success. So this is the changed perception which I have seen in my home also, where my son is also appearing online examination, online schooling, and which was never the case before March. But gradually this is the new shift which has happened, and this is the positive shift which will get percolated down the line also. And while doing it so, technology learning is going to be the major shift. Earlier we were not having so much of a bank account. Now 99% of the adult population in the country have their bank account, and they are at least 3 to 4 times in a year they are using this bank account. So this is something which has changed, which has developed a new normal in the financial sector. Now in education sector, the new normal is getting it established, and it's not established. Even established is a wrong word which I have used. It's evolving. And while this evaluation process, everybody need to be in sync with the system which is setting the new normal. And that's why the rural education, rural technology adoption, Unnat Bharat Abhiyan can really play a catalyzing role in all the citizens getting equipped with the technology utilization. BHIM application, which is biggest reform which has happened in this entire digital transformation without any technical glitches is happening. And everybody, Google or Paytm or any phone pay, everybody is using the core platform of a Beam. And this single application, it has created a record transaction which has never happened before. So we should be proud of such kind of a government creation. Of course, government is not communicating this to the people and celebrating their success, but this is something we should be proud about, this kind of a initiative taken up by the government, and much more safe, secure, tamper-proof solution offered by the government of India.
In one of the summaries of this Sir Atmanirbhar Abhiyan, one of the sections under agriculture and allied sector is with respect to agri infrastructure, and they are going to spend something around 1 lakh crore rupees on this agri infrastructure. And with the present change in the scenario that has happened with respect to sale of agri products, that earlier the farmer was binded to sell to a particular mandi only. Now there is a shift or change in the policy in there. So
E-mandis are evolving in this.
yes, yes, yes. So in that particular case only, my only apprehension is that when actually I've been talking to the farmers and so on, there are some grassroots level issues are there that they are not able to move out. How do you see that? Do you think that these are going to, how much time it will going to take such that they can flow into that e-mart transitions actually?
See, my humble submission would be our engineers, students really can transform. The value which you have quoted here can only be achieved in agri transformation if our engineers are designing a better and useful offering which society is in need of, like pulse policing unit or machine which is there. That machine might be costing few lakhs of rupees and can be operated at a very large scale. But how we can have such a pulse policing or wheat, crude wheat translating into the commercially sellable wheat as a product in a packed form, and how this kind of a unit we can establish in a villages or a small town, wherein with the minimal investment like a 5-10 lakhs, person can establish the self-sustainable unit. So dedicatedly the pulse or any other crop can be taken up from the farm, polished and packed and offered to the commercial value chain right from that village. So how much of an employment this small unit will generate? And with the minimal engagement of a 20-25 people, this unit will sustain in village. And offering right from the village rather than giving bulk to the big polishing industry, they can create their own sustainability model and they can offer directly the commercially deployable product from their village. And this kind of addition will increase the value chain. Like they might be selling a bulk at a minimal price, but this kind of a packed offering will really generate the value for them, and the intermediate step can get eliminated out of this. But they can, intermediate step will have a new normal which will evolve is buying directly the finished product from these villagers or village units and offering this to the multi stores in the city, when they can earn from this mediation or connecting this value chain. So it will again going to set a reset button, but reset button will help everybody into the value chain.
Sir, you had been associated with Atal Innovation Mission a lot. How do you connect Atal Innovation Mission with this organization of Atmanirbhar or any other aspect?
So many social incubation center were established by Atal Innovation Mission in last 3.5 years. And these social innovation incubation support system is really offering a great value chain. I would like to quote here one of the incubation center which was established in Telangana, Hyderabad. They are working into the social innovation space, and this social innovation space, they are creating a micro cooperative enterprises and ensuring that each micro cooperative enterprise is offering a unique innovative solution, and it is achieving a self sustainability in a record less than 1 year time. So they have taken up 25 such project in last 2.5 year, and now all the 25 projects are self sustainable, which are into the villages. So through these 25 projects, they might have created more than 600 700 employment, and it is earning net revenue profit in less than 2 years of a time. So that's the success, that's the celebration, which rural economy is on the track of self-sustainability mode. And such initiative or such projects need to be taken up all across the country. And that's the prime motive of exploring the rural urbanization. What is the term I like a lot which you have offered, and this is something which can easily be achieved by collective effort towards having a focus of offering our unique incentives from the rural villages.
Thank you very much, sir. In case Professor Patnaik would like to add something now, because sir, it's already 12:35. We our basically now is the quiz time, 12:30 to 1.
I'll just say simply thank you, Professor Pandit, for giving time to us, and look forward to a better interaction in future, because this particular term, when Dr. Balvinder was asking me, sir, what should be the name? I told it may not be English wise correct, but this is the thing, is my thought process. So take this terminology and use it. And the people who work in this area, they will appreciate this term. So it is basically looking forward to a opportunity of giving urbanization facility to the rural public without asking them to go to the urbanized area. So that is the culture which we want to initiate. Sir, we'll be in touch with you, because I have a department, rural development also here. There is a department called entrepreneurship. As you know, NITR is a technical teacher training institute. We have a different structure. So we have very hardcore 5-6 training department, supported by the curriculum department, instructional media. Like we have a second largest studio with us. So we do a lot of this video related activities. Way back in 2012, we showed to the country that Google Hangout also can be a mode of teaching learning. And we conducted numerous activities. And in these 3 months' time, especially April, May, June, July 10th was my board meeting, so I was presenting the report. So in 3 months' time, we almost all trained 45,000 faculty members over the country. And
Oh,
45 in these 3 months, April, May, June. So that is the way my faculty team is very aggressive, and they do a lot of good activities in new areas also, like lot of good areas we are handling. And it will be very interesting that these young people, if they get connected to you, get a right kind of disa, I'll use the word disa from you, so they will be doing some activity in that direction. So
sure, sure. We
as a
can work
director, it is
together.
our job to facilitate this type of aggressive workers. So I never come as a bottleneck in front of them. Rather, I sit behind and see how they are performing and give them that support system. Thank you so much, sir, and thank you both of
Thank
you
you.
for
Thank you.
coming
Even at
and
CNU also, we have created a 10 days faculty development program on a 10 different themes
Very good.
related to COVID-19, and
Yes.
that's also actively going on.
So issue based faculty development program.
Yeah, sure. Thank you very
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Namaste.
Thank you. Namaste.